Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I want to talk with you about the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is just not something that you can just do, and it's just easy to do, especially with offenses, people who may have broken your trust, broken your heart, just failed to be a parent or a guardian, betrayed you in some way, whether it's at your job, whether it's a friend, whether it's family, or a total stranger that has done something to you, or someone in ministry. Forgiveness is just not something that you just whip it out and just, oh, I forgive you, and that's it. Because some wounds stick and they run deeper than others, especially in offenses where you've been violated in some way, whether it's emotionally, physically, sexually. How do you come back from that? How does the woman or the man whose wife went out and got pregnant by someone, how does that happen? How does forgiveness come from there? Or the wife whose husband goes out there and get another woman pregnant or leaves her for another man. There's just so many scenarios out there. So forgiveness is not just something you just throw out there and say, oh yeah, I'm just going to do it. It is a process. It's a supernatural, especially for offenses like that. It is something that only God can do to help you to change your heart. And you just have to be in a place to allow the Lord to do that. And the way you do it, and I can tell you from my own experiences, was just going before God and being honest with Him about how I felt about situations, crying, pouring out before Him. And then what helped me, the Lord just called me to a fast. He just called me to a fast. He told me I need to fast. He instructed me how to, for how long, and I did that. And during that time, He allowed me to pour out before Him everything that I was feeling. And then there was a time when He began to teach me, and He began to minister to me, and He began to heal me. And I will tell you, it was just a process, but I was so determined that I did not want anything to separate me from God. I did not want to lose or miss Him in any way for anyone. I desperately sought Him because it would have been easier to just go with my feelings, go with my flesh, allow my feelings to push me. But I was desperate for God. So I turned it over to Him. And guys, in time, you will find that what you thought you couldn't let go of, and you thought would have been too painful for you to get through, you'll find that it's just lifted and it's gone. It will happen. You'll find it's just different, because certain offenses, most if not all, it's not just you and I that can say, I forgive you, and it's all gone. There's a cleansing that comes from God, that only comes from Him, where He, through the power of the Holy Spirit, can literally reach in and take that pain out of you and make you good as new, brand new. This means when you see that person, you don't feel any odd against them. You're able to pray for them even. If you saw them, you're able to say hello and keep going. You can comfortably move on with your life. And sometimes in the process, God could tell you to close doors. Like, hey, you need to step away from this person, this group, this individual, these individuals, whatever it may be, this ministry, this relationship. And when you close that door, you'll find that you can move ahead and you have no resentment towards them whatsoever. And God can make you good as new. He can change your heart and turn all around and take that pain right out of you. The reason why some people, they stay in pain for a very long time is because sometimes they don't want to go through that process. It's like that's a hands down no. I ain't forgiving nobody. This is what they did to me, whatever. And of course, that's your right to feel that way. You felt that. But what a lot of people do is they end up rejecting Christ in the process. One of the things for me that the Lord said during some of the things that he had me, during that forgiveness process, all the things he wanted me to do. And it was so strange. Let me tell you, while I was going through this process with the Lord, one of the things that he had me doing, I'm going to the Lord, pouring out to him, right, about everything that I'm feeling, everything I'm going through. And the Lord, at some point, after he allowed me to do that and was really ministering to me, he started showing me stuff about me. And I was not pleased with that, man. I was like, Lord, this is our session. This is me and you. Let me talk. But no, he started to just really show me some things. And what he had me do, there were people he had me reach out and contacting them, literally picking up the phone. Some things he just had me ask for forgiveness, and other things he was like, pick up the phone, contact these people, apologize. And trust me, some of them I was like, God, please don't. This person, like, they started this. And I humbled myself. And you may not go through that exact process, but there's so many things that the Lord just had me to do. And then next thing I knew, and that's literally how it felt, next thing I knew, my heart was just different. When I thought of the persons, individuals, it was just different. I no longer had that pain, and it just did not, I didn't see things the way I was seeing it before. And when God cleanses you and heals you, whether it's forgiveness or whatever it may be, guys, you're going to be good as new. And that's how I felt. That's how it was. And the funny thing about it, guys, when God changes you, you're not going to have a hard time. You're not going to be picking up the phone and looking for them, especially if it's just something where it's just done. You can't really still fool with this person like that. You'll just be able to move on. And it could be at work. It could be a old friend. Could be someone you used to date. Could be just a church. If you see them somewhere, you could be like, hey, how are you? And just keep it going, or, you know what I mean? Keep it going. It does not, if you're at the workplace, you could say good morning. Nothing is going to be holding you back. You just feel free. You feel nothing. You just feel fine. And the funny thing about it, guys, is that these individuals sometimes is going to think a couple of things. If it's your ex, they're going to think, if you're able to just still say hello to them and just be cordial and keep it moving, they will think you want them back. They will think you still like them. If it's someone that did you wrong and lied on you and now you just moved on, they'll be thinking, yeah, you see, they feeling guilty and this or that. If it's your family and you're able to call them up and apologize for your part in whatever you did, or you just let things slide, you no longer pursue that situation, they'll be sitting there, yes, you see, I was right, and they must feel bad, and they must feel guilty, and they must feel this, and they must feel that, and they must be scared. There's just so many things. But they don't realize you're free. If I'm free, then I can interact with you normal. If I'm free, if I see you, I'm not going to be running and ducking. I'm free. I can say hello, and there's nothing there. But the thing is, they're still there. They're still back at that offense. They're stuck in their mind about something. They still think that you're still back in 1999. They're still thinking, oh, you're still mad about what happened in 2004. You're still mad about what happened back in 2010. And not realizing you're just free. And who the Son sets free is what? Is free indeed. And I'm trying to tell you, when you have that peace of God, the peace that passes all understanding, forgiveness will give you that. So you're good. When you see them, you hear anything about them, you're not feeding into it. I remember once just, having a situation, and somebody called me. I was like, oh, I heard this and this and this, when they said this and this and this. And I had nothing to say. I just simply said, God knows what happened, and I'm going to leave it in his hands. That was it. and you just feel free. There's no need to tell your side. There's no need to put out what they had said. There's no need to get them back, revenge, set them up. You just move on with your life. And God moves you on to better, because the thing is, when you have an ought in your heart against somebody, when you allow that, it separates you from God. You reject God. There's a lot of people, they reject the Lord because they just sitting there with this dead thing inside of them, just stinking. And it's just a part of them. And it's just, it's rotting. And it's just a part of them. And they think that they're fine, but no, they're not. Because if they hear the name of this person, or they see the person, it's like that dead, decayed thing just grips them, and they cuddle that dead thing in their arm and go back over what was done to them. No, I don't want that. I want to give up this dirty corpse of the past and move forward in God. Because a lot of times what happens is you can't receive the friendships, the relationships, the advancements, whatever God wants to do in your life. You can't minister effectively because you're carrying this filth inside of you. And if someone even does something that you feel like is even close or seems familiar to what you went through, that little thing is just going to come alive in your spirit and be like, "Arr!" And then you're just going to react. And you're not able to go into the promised land with dead things. Anything that needs to be dropped off was left in the wilderness, and only a select few entered into the promised land, guys. If you think about everything that happened in the wilderness when the Lord was bringing the children of Israel through, well, if you want to step into the greater things of God, higher levels in your ministry, and do the things that God has called you to do, and heal people and bring restoration through your testimony and just through your witness, you can't do it with this dead thing in you. So guys, let go of those things. Allow the Lord to help you. He knows that there's certain things, the greater the offense, oh my goodness, the more you need to run to the Lord. You cannot do it. You cannot do it by yourself. It's only through the power of God that you can. And when you're willing to, you will be healed. You will be healed. He will take that offense from you, and he's going to make you whole again. And just like I said, when you see them or they see you, it's not that you're going to be like, "Hey, y'all," that's fake. "Hey, y'all," that fake stuff. No. But when you see them, nothing in you is going to jump. You're not going to get angry again. You're going to have a peace. And so you can be like, "Hey, how are you?" They'll be the one that's looking down or getting all prickly peared on you, thinking that you're going to say something or act up, or you're still back there, but you're not. The reason why a person can say hello to you, someone that's been healed and someone that's been restored, the reason why they can speak is because they're at peace and they've been made whole. It has nothing to do with you. No, he's not trying to get you back. No, she does not want you back. No, I don't want you back. It's nothing like that. It's not a matter of feeling guilty. It's not a matter of, oh, they know better and they were scared. It's just God has set them free. And when you're free, when you have that freedom that comes from God, when you have that peace that comes from God, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You just feel so good inside. You feel so fresh, so light, so clean. And you're like, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess this up. No. So that's what happens, guys. And too often people are still shackled, and they starting to look like just getting old, and they're bitter and they're mean because they're carrying that dead thing from what somebody else did. And it's important that you're healed, because then how are you going to have a relationship? How's anybody going to be with you? How is this man that's never done you wrong going to have to be dealing with you and your plus one of bitterness? And now he's trying to work through what somebody else did to you, or she's being mistreated because of what somebody else did to you, you and your plus one in this relationship? How can you effectively lay hands and have a heart for people when you're still bitter? Bitterness hinders you. Bitterness and unforgiveness and hardness in your heart, you have reservations. Believe it or not, no matter how nice you are, if a situation comes up that really bothers you enough, you would shut down, that those steel doors will come down real quick. You get right back in that dungeon. You'll be like Iron Man. If you ever seen that movie, you see how he just transformed Tony Stark. That'll be you, just armored up in bitterness and unforgiveness, and you'll be ready to just annihilate. So guys, I'm just gonna go. Stay encouraged. Remember, it's not a quick thing. I was just speaking to someone the other day who asked me a question, and one of the things that I said is, even if someone offends you and they've done something wrong and they come to you and they ask you to forgive them, they still need to give you, ultimately, yes. The Lord says, if you don't forgive, neither will you be forgiven. But they also need to respect your feelings and give you the time to process that. It is good if that person sincerely comes to you and repents for what they've done and they've done wrong. And sometimes if you've already been going to the Lord about it, you'll find when that person calls you or that person reaches out to you or they come to you and ask you to forgive them, you'll be able to just forgive them just like that, because you'll be surprised how you're able to do it. Other times when it's just something that's super, super painful and you're still going through that process of healing, we have to realize that people don't have to say, oh, yes, I forgive you. There may be things that we have done, you have done, and then you're asking the person to forgive you, but they're still hurt and they just don't trust you. So you have to just respect that. You have to respect it. It does not mean you now or we have the right to mistreat somebody that's coming to us for forgiveness, that you're going to put them through the ringer. No. And at the same time, when we're the one asking someone to forgive us, and if they don't receive it, you cannot force them, and you cannot be like, oh, you're supposed to be a Christian, you should just forgive me. No, that's inappropriate. You have to allow that person the space and the time to go before God and say, Lord, this person, however they communicate with the Lord, and give them that space and that time. If they never forgive you, then please don't have the attitude of, oh, yeah, whatever, or you really not going to forgive me, or trying to force them. That's wrong. Forgiveness comes from the heart, and you have to realize that, hey, you've hurt this person. So you have to pray for them. That's what you do. In cases where we have hurt somebody and we ask for forgiveness and they won't, then you have to accept that, hey, you've done your part, and now you just pray for them and ask the Lord to help them to be able to forgive, but don't force them and push yourself on them like, oh, so you're not going to forgive me? You can't forgive me? That's completely wrong. And when it's the other way around, guys, and someone does come to you and ask you to forgive them, and you find that it is hard for you to do it, then you've got to go to the Lord with that and pour out before him, because ultimately the Bible does says if you don't forgive, he's not going to forgive you. But with that said, he also sympathizes and he knows your pain. He's been betrayed. He's been hurt. He's been just spit on. So go to God about it. And you're not obligated to give an answer in 3 business days. All right. But truly don't take this as an opportunity to go and get that person, and now you're going to really rip into them for what they've done, because that's not of God. Okay. I'm talking to believers now. But go before the Lord and lay that thing before the Lord and be like, Lord, it is hard for me to let go, to forgive this person. I know they're asking me to forgive them, but this is super hard for me. And I believe in all sincerity that when you do that and you go before the Lord with all sincerity and ask him to help you with this, then you will find that he will begin to do the transformation in your heart, and you're just going to have a peace. And Again, maybe you'll never be BFF. Some relationships can be restored and it's great. Others, not so much. Some things, especially if someone has violated you in some way that's very serious, you're probably not going to be close buds with this person, but you can move forward with your life knowing that you have let go of that weight and have moved forward in the Lord. So guys, that's all I have to say. And again, I'm just so, I'm trying to tell you, when the Lord sets you free, when he frees your heart, it's so beautiful, so beautiful. There's nothing, no situation that you cannot take to the Lord that he cannot help you with, that he cannot restore you, he cannot heal you. He will make you good as new when you turn all your offenses over to him. All right, guys, peace out.